Hello and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, KK Conashiro. On January 28th, Irvington High School celebrated the opening of its on-campus Student Wellness Center. The center will act as a hub for students' well-being and social-emotional learning, a place for individual and group therapy, and a center for developing new ideas to support students' individual needs. With us today to talk about this great new resource is Irvington High School Principal Amanda Melsby, Assistant Principal John Hornerkamp, and School Psychologist Yvette Helmers. Thank you so much. This is so exciting.
Thanks
So, for anyone who does not know, can you give a quick description? Where is it on the campus? Is it a separate school building, in a classroom? What's it like? Just give me a visual.
Sure. So it's two adjoining rooms that we use more toward the center of campus. So we wanted to have easy access for all of our students to come into
Is it more by the parking lot?
It's down one of the hallways,
Got it.
about
Okay.
halfway. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Pretty close to the horseshoe when you go in
Yes,
the front
okay.
of the building.
Perfect.
And one of the things I think that's really great about it is it used to be our responsibility center, and our staff actually had voted not to have that. That was for students who had gotten in trouble in class.
Yeah.
So now that's our wellness center. So we had the space available to us right in the center of
Oh,
campus.
good.
So that
So
was
you didn't
really
have
great.
to build anything.
No, no, we
Perfect. Okay.
reconfigured.
So what made you guys decide, okay, we're working with our students, but we need something like this? What was that trigger point that said, okay, we should do this instead of that?
I think really it came about last year when we actually started having data about the stress, anxiety, feelings of depression that our students had.
Okay.
And we had Dr. Slavin come and work with our PTSA and our students, and really having those hard numbers made us realize that we wanted something sustainable, that was something that we had on a consistent basis. We had, our anti-stress week or our no homework week or the therapy
homework
dogs would
week?
come. We would have that, yes. Every now and then, yes.
Oh, wow.
So we had these little things for years, and just trying to grow that into a larger systematic offering for students.
Now, when a student signs up for this, is it during class hours, after class, at lunch?
Okay, so the Wellness Center is used in 3 different ways
Okay.
currently. And you had mentioned there's individual counseling from outside providers 5 days a week, all day long.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so we have currently 33 spots for students, and students move in and out. And we have 4 support groups, but we're starting a 5th support group. And the way in which those students get referred is through our cost process, which all schools in the district have coordination of services teams that meet every week. So it's a universal referral process. We talk about students, and if a student is in need of something, then we find the intervention we think that's best for them, and that intervention might be our on-site individual
Okay.
and group counseling. And then the last thing is we have drop-ins during lunchtime.
Nice. Yes, because you don't know what happened to the student the night before, and they may need help. Right?
Yep.
So, Ms. Psychologist,
Yes.
are you there every day?
I cover Monday
Okay.
at lunchtime, and then we have on Tuesdays, we have a social skills group that our speech therapist runs. We would like to have Strong Kids curriculum throughout the week, and then another, like a girls group and a boys advocating mentoring group.
Nice.
So we have a lot of ideas on different social emotional curriculum that we
right.
want to implement.
Right.
And I have my intern covers Wednesday, our speech covers Thursday, and then one of the principals covers Tuesday, and then one of the teachers covers Friday. So our group is unique in that all of the campus participates. It's not just general ed or special ed.
Nice.
Our
Nice.
nurse also participates sometimes on Fridays.
Takes a village.
Yes, so it's that's what's different for me for this wellness center, is that all of our whole campus is invested in
Now,
stuff.
if a student is having difficulties, do they have to get their parents' permission to participate in this?
For the individual counseling, yes, they do need to
Okay.
have parents' consent. Yeah.
And have you gotten any feedback from the parents? Do they think this is a great thing? Do they want counseling? I mean,
Well, actually, I mean, one of the things I think that's been great about it, we had a lot of the individual and group counseling services already.
Okay.
But just by virtue of having it all in one place, there are a lot of benefits to that. First of all, there's a different kind of conversation, and
Yes.
then also we have consistent data that we're gathering as well. And so because of that and you know, our efforts to publicize the Wellness Center, parents know about it, and it's actually happened several times that students have gone there who were actually in need of more urgent care support. And it was because we had a wellness center there that day they went into the wellness center
Nice.
during lunchtime.
Nice.
And that would, you know, may well not have happened
Right.
if we didn't have the wellness center where it was.
right. Now, how did you come up with this idea? I mean, did you see it at another school district, or was this something you read in a magazine? I mean, how did this all come about?
Yeah. Well, yeah, both of us had some experience in the past. So I worked in student support services. I had gone to a
Here in
conference. So yeah, in Fremont,
Okay.
Fremont Unified. And I had gone to a conference with other district people, health services coordinator and Tri-City Health. And I knew about health and wellness centers before, but it was a conference that featured a lot of schools and districts that had it, and just seeing them in operation, it looked like such a powerful thing. So it was something that was sort of in the back of my mind, and I'd been talking to people about for a while, and one of those people was Yvette.
And so I attended that same year. I attended a conference at UC Berkeley,
Okay.
and one of the workshops was about creating a wellness center. And so I met with another psychologist who had just implemented it at her school
Okay.
district, and so she had gone through the whole process, even down to how to obtain funding, how
Wow.
to pull together resources, and how to look at what we already have and see how we could, you know, repurpose it and see how we could bring that to our school. So I was very excited leaving that conference, and then after talking to him, then it was an
The ball
instant kind
started
of
rolling.
Well,
yeah.
and
Yes.
I have to admit that I was kind of surprised that Yvette brought it up when we were having a conversation about wellness, which it's one of our school goals.
Yeah.
But she brought it up with the admin team, and I'm like, yes, okay.
I'm like,
and
yes.
and I
And
think
then having the space.
Yeah.
Right.
In his
room.
passion, you
For
can
children.
feel it.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
yeah. And also we knew that there were other districts and schools around who had the wellness center model as opposed to the health center model, just because we knew we had such issues
Yeah.
in terms of behavioral health. And Castro Valley opened one, Castro Valley Unified at Castro Valley High School, and both of the Palo Alto
Nice.
high schools
Nice.
have wellness centers that are very much the same model as ours.
Now, are you hearing from the other high school campuses that they want to mimic what you're doing, or they're waiting and seeing because you've only been open for a month, less than a month? Are they going to wait and see how this works, or are they already adopting it?
I think some of the schools are certainly trying to put pieces into place so
Good.
that they can do the same as well. Certainly we're sharing the information,
Yeah.
you know, things that we would maybe do a little differently or things that worked really well. So it's very collaborative, I think. All of the admin teams in Fremont, especially at the secondary sites, are really concerned about
Yes.
the mental health.
Yes, all of
and,
us are.
Yeah, putting all of that together. Yeah.
Now, when everyone's all together, especially the students, because when everyone's dealing with their own issues, sometimes you feel like you're the only one in this whole world that has this problem. And when they're all in the same room, they must feel a sense of relief, like, I'm not the only one. Do you feel that? Do you see that in the students?
Yeah, I mean,
So, yeah.
I think it's such a common experience for teenagers to feel alone, to feel isolated. And I think...
And they're trying to be cool.
Well, and they're actually talking about mental health all the time,
Oh,
too.
good, good.
Which is a good thing in the end, but you know, it's an ongoing topic of conversation, and I think all too often in the past that conversation has just been about what a problem it is, which it is. It's,
Right.
you know, really a crisis. But the one thing that the Wellness Center provides is something just very positive, that, hey, this is important.
And no
Not only
stigma.
are we recognizing
Yeah.
that it's a real problem, but that there are ways to
Deal with
address
it.
it.
We can redirect them
Yeah.
and facilitate the problem solving part of it, and reframe the question, and reframe, you know, offer them different ideas on how to resolve the situation,
Yeah.
instead of just feeling stuck and staying in
Right.
the moment, because sometimes that's what they'll do, is they'll come in and they'll start talking, and then the mood of the room, they get, you know, more and more depressed. And so that's why we have someone always there at lunchtime to facilitate.
Okay.
And
yeah.
it's not their academic counselors, though that counselors are involved.
Right.
You know, we're trying to actually to get peers in there as well to do
Nice.
counseling, but we have staff members in there, and they could either talk to the staff member or not.
Whomever
and-
they feel comfortable
Yeah,
with.
whoever they
Yeah.
feel comfortable with.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, for anyone who's watching and they're hesitant, especially a student, they're hesitant in expressing
Mhm.
whatever they're going through, what words of encouragement would you say to these students? Please come talk to us. You're not alone. We are here for you.
So they
Because
really,
it's scary
Yeah.
to
It is.
open yourself up and be
Mhm.
vulnerable like that and not in fear of any kind of backlash.
So we do have the wellness check-in board,
Mhm.
so
Oh,
they
good.
don't have to
Mhm.
Okay.
actually verbalize it.
Right.
So they can write their name on the back of it and put it up on
Perfect.
how they're feeling, and then we take that at the end of the session and put that into our data collection system, and then we follow up with.
Oh, good.
So they don't
Okay.
actually have to come in and start that way, and
Okay.
then
'Cause that's
follow up.
scary.
Yes, it
There
is.
are a variety of ways they can use the
Mhm.
Wellness Center.
Okay.
They can come in if they just want to, you know, there's part of it that's kind of a loungy area, so they can come in.
Just hang out,
yeah, and
check
and
you
if they
out.
if they
Right.
need
Okay.
a little quiet time or space, there are, depending on the staff member, I think Yvette, you oftentimes do arts and crafts on Monday, but there are kind of themes to every day based on the interests of the staff member. Games on Friday. They can participate in those or not.
Right.
We have one student who comes in and paints rocks, I think, pretty much
Every
But
day.
that opens them
Yes.
up. It
Mhm.
makes
Yes.
them relax.
Yes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and if they do want to talk about things, I mean, that's available
Then you're
too.
there.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Yeah.
There are
Did you
people
want to
there.
add something?
I think having that physical space, even if a student doesn't necessarily go to it or can't get there today, knowing that it's
It's there.
and that it's accessible to them, I think that we're hoping that creates
Mhm.
a little bit more calm. Just an additional resource that they can always reach out to if they need it.
Yeah. It's a safety place.
And I think that's an important message
Yeah.
too, is that, you know, like you're going through something and it's just important to make connections and to begin to build relationships so they don't feel as isolated. And they can come at that, you know, kind of from a variety of different places.
Are you also
on their own
thinking about
terms.
opening this up during summer breaks or the holiday breaks?
I think our first focus would be opening it up more during the school day.
Okay.
Expanding the hours, and
Yeah.
that's where we're
then
looking at
seeing-
for exactly.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a steering committee that's starting to meet
Oh,
too.
good.
And so that's one of the things we need to do is
Yes.
we need kind of a master plan.
Right.
It's happened organically, and a lot of people have contributed to that.
That's
Parents
kind of the
and
best way,
students,
actually.
and it because you have a certain like level of commitment to it. But I think having some sort of plan. Moving forward, a budget, how you're going to grow is really important. That's kind of
Yeah.
where we are.
Have you noticed any students taking any interest in being another Yvette?
Actually,
they're
I have one student that wants to, as part of her quest project, volunteer, but we have to
That's
we have
wonderful.
to determine
Mhm.
what kind of training,
Yeah.
what she would need, and how we would go about, just making sure with confidentiality.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and there is a model, I had mentioned it before, in terms of student training, Peer Resource, which is at 3 other high schools in the district. And we're
Perfect.
just starting it, and there's a training component. But we're trying to figure out what's best for students in
Absolutely.
terms of training.
Absolutely.
The
Well,
other part that we did for the planning is we looked at all of our input data and referrals and everything, and then we also want to look at how to measure impact.
Yes.
So that's
Absolutely.
kind of what we need to do at the end of the
Yeah.
year.
Perfect. Well, I thank you so much. I congratulate you. This is phenomenally awesome.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
I mean,
Yes.
I wish I had it in my day, but that's a whole nother story. But thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here.
the
Good luck to
opportunity.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From everyone here at Community Conversations, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.